Don't quit. The power of holding on when everything tells you to let go. Before start, please subscribe this channel. There comes a moment in every life when everything feels heavier than it should. The alarm rings, but your body refuses to move. The dream still lives, but your energy feels gone. The path is still there, but your confidence has disappeared. And in that quiet, fragile moment, a voice whispers, maybe it's time to quit. It doesn't scream. It doesn't argue. It simply suggests, softly, dangerously, convincingly. And that is where most people lose. Not because they aren't talented, not because they aren't capable, but because they listen, understanding the silent war inside you. Quitting is rarely loud. It doesn't always look like throwing everything away in one dramatic decision. Sometimes quitting is quiet. It's skipping one day, then another. It's lowering your standards just a little. It's telling yourself, I'll start again tomorrow. And slowly, without realizing it, you drift away from the life you once promised yourself. But here's the truth most people avoid. The battle is not outside. It is inside you. Every dream you have is constantly being tested by two forces. The part of you that wants comfort, the part of you that wants growth. And comfort is powerful. It tells you to rest when you should push. It tells you to stop when things get hard. It tells you that good enough is enough. But growth demands everything. Understanding why people quit. People don't quit because they're weak. They quit because progress feels slow. Results don't match expectations. Fear becomes louder than belief. Pain lasts longer than motivation. Think about it. You start something new, full of energy, excitement, hope. You imagine success quickly. But then reality arrives. The struggle begins. Mistakes happen. Failure shows up uninvited. And suddenly, the same dream that once excited you now exhausts you. That's where most people stop. Not at the beginning, not even at failure, but in the middle, where it's unclear if the effort is worth it. Understanding the truth about success. Success is not about starting. Anyone can start. Motivation is easy when you feel inspired. Energy is high when the idea is new. But success belongs to those who continue when motivation disappears, when nobody is watching, when progress is invisible, when results are delayed. Because that's the real test. Not how fast you run in the beginning, but how long you can keep walking when you're tired. Understanding pain is part of the process. Let's be honest, the journey is not easy. There will be pain. Emotional pain when you doubt yourself. Physical pain when your body is tired. Mental pain when nothing seems to work. But pain is not your enemy. Pain is proof that you're pushing beyond your limits. Every great transformation requires discomfort. A muscle grows only when it's stressed. A mind expands only when it's challenged. A life improves only when it's tested. So when it hurts, don't run. Understand it, because that pain is shaping you into someone stronger. Understanding the danger of giving up too soon. Most people quit right before the breakthrough. They give up in the final chapter because they can't see the ending. Imagine planting a seed. You water it every day. You care for it. You protect it. But for weeks, nothing happens. No growth, no signs, no reward. So you stop. But what you didn't see was that the roots were growing underground. And just days later, it was about to break through the surface. That's how life works. Progress is often invisible, until suddenly it's undeniable. Understanding discipline over motivation. Motivation is unreliable. Some days you feel unstoppable. Other days you feel empty. If you depend on motivation, you will quit. Discipline is different. Discipline shows up regardless of how you feel. You work when you're tired. You try when you're afraid. You continue when you want to stop. Discipline says, I don't care how I feel. I made a promise, and I will keep it. And that's the mindset that separates winners from quitters. Understanding the power of one more step. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to feel confident all the time. You don't even need to see the whole path. Sometimes, all you need is one more step, one more try, one more hour, one more effort. Because progress is not built in giant leaps. It's built in small, consistent actions. And those small actions repeated daily create unstoppable momentum. Understanding when everything feels against you. There will be days when nothing works. When you fail repeatedly, people doubt you, you doubt yourself, the goal feels impossible. In those moments, quitting feels logical. It feels reasonable. But here's the truth. Hard times are not a sign to stop. They are a test to continue. Because if it were easy, everyone would succeed. Understanding your future is watching. Think about the person you want to become. Stronger, confident, successful, disciplined. That person is not created overnight.
That person is built through struggle, consistency, persistency. Every time you choose not to quit, you take one step closer to becoming that person. And every time you give up, you move further away. Understanding the regret of quitting. Pain from effort fades, but regret lasts. Years from now, you won't remember the exhaustion, but you will remember the moment you gave up. You'll ask yourself, what if I had continued? What if I didn't quit? What could I have become? And that question, that unanswered question, will stay with you. Understanding you are stronger than you think. You've already survived difficult days. You've already faced challenges. You've already overcome things you once thought were impossible. So why stop now? Strength is not something you gain after success. It's something you discover during struggle. And right now, you are in that process. Understanding the decision that changes everything. At the end of the day, it comes down to one decision. Not a big one, not a dramatic one. Just a simple, quiet decision. I will not quit. Even when it's hard. Even when it's slow. Even when it feels pointless. Because persistence is powerful. And consistency beats talent, luck, and even intelligence. Understanding final message. If you're tired, rest, but don't quit. If you're discouraged, pause, but don't quit. If you're struggling, learn, but don't quit. Because the moment you refuse to give up is the moment everything begins to change. Understanding final message. If you're tired, rest, but don't quit. If you're discouraged, pause, but don't quit. If you're struggling, learn, but don't quit. Because the moment you refuse to give up is the moment everything begins to change.